Hey, Brandy.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Hi.
thank you for joining us on the show. Lovely to have you here. Tell us about your movie Wineville.
Well, it is a thriller horror film, and it's based in 1978. And it's kind of got that feel. I always loved all the late 70s, mid 70s films like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Last House on the Left. So I wanted to, create that atmosphere in a film. But it has a woman, myself, who comes back to Wineville and has to go and take care of the family vineyard because her father had died, and she had run away from home when she was 15 because of some very, very horrific things that had happened. And this is a story of a serial killer family, and it's loosely based on the true story about the chicken coop murders that actually happened outside of Los Angeles. And the story was so horrific that they actually changed the name from Wineville to Miraloma. So that's a true story. And where we filmed was on Wineville Road in Miraloma / Wineville, right next door to where the chicken coop murders actually happened. And if you haven't seen The Changeling, you should see it. It's a great movie. Talks all about the true story. But anyway, so this woman has to come back to settle the family winery, and when she comes back, things have just festered and darkened. It got even worse than it was when she left home. And now not only does she have to try to escape herself, but now she has to try and escape with her young son. And she'll do anything to help protect her young son and get him out of that horrific situation.
Well, I have to compliment you first on your background. I see a Wineville poster. Very smart on the marketing side.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it was smart. You're marketing your movie. You're selling it. And also, yes, this is the piece of advice I give to all actors, which is produce yourself. Don't put your destiny in someone else's hands, someone else to cast you. Cast yourself and make a movie starring yourself.
That's exactly what happened. And I did that because during COVID, as you guys know, there was just no work. And I was actually filming a Christmas movie with my son. And that was it. Like we were, on set. This was the only thing that got approved. There's no other movies getting approved. And I'm just like, you know what? I've got to create this myself. I'm going to do my own story. I'm going to, find my location and just do it myself and create it so that it's ready when we're able to shoot. And we were still shooting during, wearing masks and the whole thing. But that's exactly what I did. I'm like, I got to create my own movie. Yeah.
And what was and to direct it? What was the kind of decision on your part behind doing that as well?
The directing part?
Yes.
Well, it actually happened because, as I think you guys know, Richard Shankman, who is my writer and one of the producers, and I knew that I would have him as my mentor by my side every step of the way. So I was lucky enough to have him, there on set every day, with a seasoned, wonderful, fantastic director. So I was very lucky.
And then we have over 2,000 people watching live right now. They have a lot of questions for you. So before we get to their questions, one I know everybody likes to ask, which is how long did it take to shoot? And then what was your general budget and how'd you raise the money?
It took 2 weeks to shoot, which is crazy when the whole film to Amazon took, 3 years total, just about 2.5 years. The actual shooting only took 2 weeks. We did 6-day weeks. We had Sundays off. We did 12-hour days and turned it around. So we right down to the wire, definitely.
And then the budget in terms of the money, I don't feel. Yeah, I always say, what's that?
Be very general. I would say that.
Well, yeah. I won't tell you the amount only because here's the thing, and I'm glad that you're asking me this because this is something that all new filmmakers maybe should not do this. I funded the film myself. And I have so many great, you know, producers are saying, Brandy, don't do it. But I didn't want to waste time, you know, talking and trying to, I'm just not the type of person to go out asking for money. That's just not my style. It's just tough. Plus, I didn't want to be under anybody's thumb. I wanted it to be my project creatively. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. I didn't want to have the worry also about getting somebody's money back to them, because as you guys know, that's so stressful. So I sold my house and followed my passion and my dream, and decided to do it and jump in with both feet. But I would not recommend normal people to do that. I'm a little crazy and nutty, as you can tell from the film and the script, that I'm really demented and crazy. So I did that.
Yeah. To answer the chat's question, yes, this is the Brandy Roderick. And the other thing is, what I appreciate about the film is it goes in some very bizarre directions, and I really love that about this movie. And I felt like that if you were taking someone else's monies, that they might dissuade you from going in certain directions at certain points in the film.
100%. And that's what was so important to me, was to create these crazy plot twists, right? Mm-hmm. And create such shocking moments. And I wanted to push the envelope. I didn't want to do what other people are doing. I wanted to take these crazy ideas that I had and make them a reality. And that's what I did. And you're right, I didn't have anyone telling me no. However, there is one scene that Richard, the one with Aunt Margaret and young Joe, with the movie projector.
Yeah.
He wrote that part, and he actually had to really convince me to do that. But he did, and I'm glad that we did it, because it really lends itself to teaching you and telling you what their backgrounds and why they are so effed up, you know, what made them this crazy way. And that's one of the reasons I think that shows why Joe's so messed up.
Let's go to comments from the chat here. So many people have questions for you.
Okay.
Brock Samsonite says, welcome, Brandy. And A. Dallas 24 says, when scouting for locations, was the plan to always shoot in California? What are the benefits and hindrances for an indie film choosing to shoot in the state these days?
Well, for me, it actually started with the location, because my friend owns Galliano Winery, which is the oldest winery in California. So for me, it was a huge benefit to shoot here because I had a free location. But, you know, shooting in California, you don't get any of the tax breaks, you know, there's the downfall there. So it's kind of, I think, evened itself out, getting a free location, but not having the tax breaks. So I think, I mean, you're fine shooting here as long as you're not paying for locations, you know, and a lot of times you can find people that are willing to let you shoot for free, but they're more willing to let you shoot for free outside of California, because people in California are a little numb to it, right? They're a little numb to show business. But if you go outside of California, they actually think it's cool. They're like, sure, come shoot here. And they get all excited about it. Or at least go outside of Los Angeles, I should say.
Question from Solomon Thornton. Greetings, Madam Brandy. What was the process of getting this film made?
Oh, that's going to take days to talk about. But I mean, like I kind of just said, the process was having a location first, getting together with Richard, my writer, going to the location. We started out with our characters. We knew that I was going to be in the movie, and we wanted a strong female character. We knew my son was going to be in the movie. So we developed the characters around their relationship, and we would just look around the location. And location was made in like the early 1900s. So it really lends itself to that really creepy vibe, you know, with the old barns, the old farm equipment, the old winemaking equipment. So we were able to really, go around and kind of create just from looking at that vision. So that's kind of how it all started.
Urjo says, what book was the main source material for the screenplay?
No book. The book is right here. It's my crazy, demented head along with Richard Shankman. Together, we're pretty sick. But, you know, there were influences from the chicken coop murders, which was a real murders that happened right next door to this house. so there was just kind of that eerie feeling that we already had and kind of were going off of. And yeah, no, but it's just really from our sick heads. No book.
From Red French Moon, I think a vineyard is a character in itself. How did you approach to capture the vineyard atmosphere on camera?
Well, that would be my great cinematographer. But it really wasn't hard because the property is so beautiful in any time of day and night. The way that the moon was shining on the barn and the way that the sun was shining over all the vineyards at certain times of day. So it was just, it just had, like you said, it's a character in itself. And it was very easy to shoot. We really didn't have to do much craziness with lighting and things like that because it was already so great.
Patrick Lemire asks, how much did the actors rehearse to make sure the shoot went fast?
Well, there's actually a kind of a quick story behind that because during our casting process, for one of the characters, actually two different characters, there was some really crazy people that seemed really crazy in real life. And I loved him. I was like, oh my God, they're so wacky and nutty and they're going to be perfect for this character. And Richard Shankman again said, Brandy, no, you don't want to do that because on films like this, you only get, 1 or 2 takes. We don't have a huge budget to be taking all day. And when you have someone that's unpredictable and a little nutty in real life, that they might be, go off the rails and need a million takes. So luckily, I had that great advice in the beginning. And so I cast complete professionals that have been in this business a long time, that have a great reputation, that is so important. So that when we got on set, honestly, I would say they all got it in 1 take, but we all, had our second take for safety. But that's the key, is really getting professional seasoned actors that know to show up and be prepared. So we got everything in pretty much usually in 2 takes.
From English Batchers, how do you approach thinking of an original kill, or do you go derivative? Do you like or have jump scares?
So I like jump scares, some jump scares. And there's maybe a couple in my film. My film is not so much a jump scare, typical slasher movie. It's very plot driven. It's very, a lot of plot twists and, things that are happening that you really wouldn't expect. And we're really going deep into the characters and what made them the way that they are. So we're really not like your typical slasher movie, but you will be shocked a lot. Yeah. And what was the beginning part of that question? Something about kills?
Original kills. Like
when you kill someone, do you do the original or derivative?
I tried to think of things, again, that's pushing the envelope that I haven't seen yet. That I think would make people, oh my God, like really cringe and freak out. So that's kind of how I went about, coming up with the kills. Really just, and Richard too, because, he was the writer. But yeah, coming up with things that just I haven't seen.
And one last question here. I think it's a very good question. Aid Ellis 24, how was it directing your son in his second ever film role? Was there a distinct difference of attitude between director Brandy and Keaton's mom?
No, I'm always the same hard ass mom, no matter what. I'm sure I'm probably harder on him than everyone else. But the way that Richard wrote the script was so that it's Keaton and I talking. It's very conversational. It's the way that we would talk to each other. And that's what was so great, being able to do that, because when I'm running around trying to play producer and putting out a million fires at once, I need to be able to just come, to the scene, to the set, and just be ready to go. And being able to work with my son and just being so natural, it just made it easy. It's not like I had to delve in and go over my character and get into character, right? It was just mom Brandy, mom Tess, so that made it was great. It was just, it's like our normal banter back and forth pretty much.
Well, Brandy, congratulations. Wineville is out now.
Yes.
It's out now, right?
Yes, it is. Yep.
And I noticed there's an Instagram, and you can find info. Just Google Wineville or look it up on VOD. And
Yeah,
we're excited.
Amazon, the normal places, Apple, Amazon, Google Play, and then winevillemovie.com. We have a practical, so we have our DVD with all the behind the scenes stuff and all the special features, and you can get an autographed DVD on winevillemovie.com.
Wait, you can? Wait,
Yeah.
Oh, I just found it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is good. I have to share screen here. So
Yeah.
I love movie marketing like this. So this is good.
Yes. Yes. No,
this is it. Here we go. We're getting a taste of the film here.
Oh. Yes.
It's all the relevant links, the trailer, you've got where to watch it. There you go.
Yeah. So,
wow, I would not have expected a film like this coming from you. I don't know why. I just did not expect it.
I get that. But you know what? When I was growing up, I was tormented as a child by my entire family. We were a horror family. I watched The Exorcist when I was 6 years old with my mother. My dad tortured my brother and I constantly, like running in the house with a knife with a stocking over his head. I'd be coming out of the bathroom late at night and dark, walking down the hallway. He'd grab my leg and bite it and have foam coming out of his mouth after we watched Rabid. Just tons of stuff. And instead of like having princess parties, when I was a kid, we slept outside in the tent and watched Sleepaway Camp. And my dad would come out and torment all the girls at night and shake the tent and scare everybody. So I've just been, I grew up like this. And I even took serial killer classes in college, like the mind of the serial killer. Like I actually took courses about this. So I've been like into this my entire life. So it's my head is, really filled with all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, when I was watching the movie, there was multiple moments where I'm just going, they're going there. I know they're going there, and you just went there, and
we went there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you did your own stunts?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. I don't know if you remember, but when I was on Baywatch, I did all my own stunts there too.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Brandy, thank you so much for joining us today. Congrats on the film. By the way, I want to remind you that you are eligible to be nominated at Award This. It's our Indie Film Awards event. We've done it now. This is our 6th year. And so you made a film that got released. It got reviewed on Film Thread. You are eligible. So
are we going to be able to go somewhere? Is this a physical
in January? It's a party. So
I'll be there.
I'll just you are on the short list. So there you go.
I will be there. I promise.
All right, great. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. Congrats on the movie, and come back and talk to us about the next film.
I will. Well, thanks, guys. I really enjoyed talking with you.
Thank you. Take care, Brandy.
Okay, we'll see you later. Bye. Bye.